Hey, what's up friends? Welcome back to the Gentleman's Journey. Now guys, in this one, we are doing the 1-year review on the Thorogood Moc toe. Now friends, this video has been much anticipated and asked by a bunch of you. If you're watching this, you're probably considering still if this is a boot you ought to get. So in this video, we're definitely gonna dive into my thoughts over the last year of how they've held up. Now guys, if you wanna know more of the nuts and bolts and the construction, all that, I have a video, the original video here. I'll link it up there for you guys to check out. But guys, I gotta tell you right out the gate, there's few boots in my collection that I've worn over the past year more than these. And if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that I have quite a growing collection of boots. So a lot to choose from there. And I just gotta tell you that these boots here remind me a lot of wearing a tennis shoe. Now, is that something you want in a boot or not? That's some stuff we're gonna cover in this video, but right out the gate, this boot here does not require any kind of break-in. Now, you do get a wide varied amount of responses on that. Some guys say they've never been able to break it in. You know, I get going through the comments with fellas, and I'm just not sure that maybe they have the right size, because I think overwhelmingly people will tell you that this boot just doesn't require any kind of break-in. And so that's a lot to do with the type of leather it is. It's a very thin leather compared to your traditional work boots. And I think that's why you get that price point so low on them. So it being a thin leather, and then they tumble it. So they put it in the, kind of like throwing it in your dryer. They put the big old hide and they tumble it. So the leather's tumbled, which makes it really soft and pliable and practically no break-in process. So how are they holding up in the past year? Well, I gotta tell you, I'm not noticing any dramas anywhere on these boots. So you have just the tiniest bit of fraying in the stitching and stuff like that, but for the most part, guys, I gotta tell you, I just can't find anything major that I've had happen in the past year, and that's with wearing them easily twice a week. And so, you know, there's varied responses. Again, you get maybe the quality control didn't get checked on your pair, and you're the guy that's like, no, that's not my experience at all. I had everything bust loose, but that's not what I had. Here recently, I was talking with a guy who said in about 5 months, the outsole starts separating. The glue on there just starts peeling off. And so I have found that to be a complaint by a few guys. It's not the case with me. I don't know if you're on the concrete, you know, bending and creasing all day. This guy in particular, I think, did drywall, so we weren't sure if maybe some of the drywall dust or constant cleaning would get in there and loosen that up. Friends, it just hasn't been the case for me. So what I've used them for is an everyday boot. You know, I have a traveling business right now, and I'm in and out of my truck and unloading gear, and we go on lots of hikes with these things. Don't beat me up in the comments. I'm not saying this is a hiking boot. I'm the type of guy, though, I want versatility in my boots, so just know that these hike really good. In fact, this type of outsole, the wedge outsole, is used by a lot of hunting boots. So they run the 8-inch, this is the 6-inch boot. Of course, they have the 8-inch option as well. Now you're looking like a really good option for a hunting boot, I would say. Maybe not with all the in-depth waterproofing and stuff like that you might be looking for, but a hiking boot, I mean, this thing will hike. There's concern that guys have with the lacing coming undone, so you gotta double knot it. I haven't experienced a lot of that. Of course, that's something you can play with. Throw some different laces in there. Again, I don't typically use this top eyelet at the top. I just run the 3 speed hooks, and that does it for me. But I think this boot is very well suited as a general all-purpose boot. You know, it is marketed towards the tradies, whether you're building framing or doing construction, some type of cement work. You know, like I said, the guy, electricians, drywallers, a lot of those guys will run these boots, and that outsole is meant for someone who's standing on their feet all day. It gives you an extra layer of cushion. So the outsole itself, and then down through the midsole, it has a cork and foam midsole. And then the liner, guys, typically in a year, I'll run through a liner like this. I gotta say, this is their proprietary one, if you will, and it's holding up very well. So I always think these are kind of gross, but at any rate, even that I haven't blown through. Down in the midsole, there's a plastic or fiberglass shank. I can't remember, I'll put it on the screen. I think it's fiberglass. So it has a shank down there, give you a little bit of support. And you know, all in all, I have stood long hours on these boots and my feet honestly feel great at the end of the day. So walking a long time, I haven't noticed anything. The only thing that I might have had at one point was maybe it rubbing on the back of my heel. It was too close to me wearing and testing out a brand new pair of other boots, so I can't tell which boot that was the cause of. It was like a 5-mile hike though, so I got to give that some more thought. Maybe later in the comments I'll come back and update you guys if I think it was this boot. I was just not really sure. But at any rate, no big issues. You know, it has a pretty nice roomy toe box. This is the 11D, so they have the EE, the double E if you want to go a little bit wider if you need the room. I don't. And the only place that I really typically have issues is on my left pinky toe. So it'd be right in here, and I don't know if it's just because it's a pretty roomy toe box there, or if it's because it's that really supple leather, but I've never experienced any rubbing or any pain right there. So of course, down the vamp, lacing it up, I can get it nice and snug, and it's not too big or not too small. So the 11D has been the go for me. Of course, I'm right at a 12 on the Brannick device. You know, on one foot I'm right at the 12, the other one I'm like 11 3/4, if you will. At any rate, basically sized a whole size down for these, and I'm really happy with that. Of course, I did go, if you check the original video, I did go into a store, so I got to try a couple different options on there. But you know, take that for what you will. I was really happy with that 11D. Now onto the care process again. Guys, these things are not taken care of today for this video. I didn't clean them up, so this is the condition you'll typically see mine in. If you remember, I said I don't like that bright white. You can get, I think, the Mr. Clean bar or something and really clean that up, but that's not the look I was going for. Again, it depends on why you're wearing the boots. Some guys get these specifically for work. I do think if you're getting them for work, you could probably do better with some whites or nicks or something like that. But at any rate, you know, it's a good cheap entry level. Now, if you're starting a job and you're gonna run to Walmart or run out and buy these, definitely do yourself a favor. Run these for a few months while you're saving up money for the big boys. I think that's the go. That's the direction I would send you guys. But again, it depends on what you're doing. I think it's a pretty decent style. You know, if you're a casual guy with maybe just some loose fitting jeans, they look really good in skinny jeans too, but you know, it has that versatility where you don't have to make sure that you're wearing a skinny jean. You can wear some loose fitting jeans, of course, Carhartts, because it's a work boot. You know, like guys say, you can take it out on the night on the town with your wife or something, go and have a little steak dinner or something, you know, maybe give them a little polish. But I think in most occasions, casual settings, you get by and you're gonna look pretty good. It depends on what kind of guy you are and what you're going for. But back to the care process, let me show you some of the stuff I've done. Now, if you check back in the BlackRock video, I use these as my example boot for that. So I'm still hooked on this stuff. I just absolutely love it. I encourage you to go back. Again, you got your homework cut out for you guys. Go back and check out this video just because I really like this stuff. My cobbler buddy first got me onto it, and you know, I always keep a jar of that within arm's reach. What I do, you know, like I said, don't get too crazy about having a million different cleaners, conditioners, polishes. Try to find some stuff that'll work across the board. As you get more into it and you get some of these specialty leathers, you're gonna wanna make sure and care for those properly. But a lot of these boots, especially these work boots, man, you don't gotta go crazy on any of it. Get some leather cleaner. This is the Cobbler's Choice leather cleaner. Get you some saddle soap, whatever you need to do to get these guys clean. I know back in the, I think the BlackRock video, I was saying you could clean them with your Red Wing leather cleaner. So just what kind of cleaner you have on hand. I wouldn't get too crazy worried about that. Clean them up and give them 12 to 24 hours to dry. Now that said, that's why I tell you guys to always have 2 sets of work boots. So say you grab these, you run them for 6 months before you can afford your whites or nicks. You know what, at that point, then you buy the whites or nicks, and you can wear these when you're cleaning your whites or nicks, or you can wear your whites or nicks or something while you're cleaning these. That way you give it time to dry, and then the next day hit it with this stuff. Of course, you're gonna buff it down, get all the, you know, the big dirt off the boot with your horsehair brush, give it a good cleaning, let it dry, come in with the Black Rock. Cobbler's Choice has the cleaner conditioner products I've talked about. Those would be just fine on these boots. In fact, they would be really good, either one of them. And then hit it with the waterproofing spray. So, you know, it just depends what you're gonna be doing, but I say if you have a bottle of this size, that sucker just lasts forever. So why not just hit every set of boots you have with that every time you condition them, because you don't know what you're gonna get into, and that's just that extra layer of protection over the top. So at any rate, I wouldn't get too concerned about the care process on these boots, just making sure that you're getting them done. Like I was talking about the guy with the drywall business, or, you know, he may be cleaning his more often than you if you're wearing them more in a casual environment and you're not really working in them. So maybe you're on a warehouse floor and you're constantly getting grime on there. You're gonna wanna give them more attention. So I constantly talk about just growing an understanding of your leather and trying to figure out what it needs. I can already see a couple dry spots on here, so I'm gonna be cleaning these, you can bet, after this video. But at any rate, guys, I don't think you can go wrong with the price point. Again, you're getting thinner leather, you're getting some, it says it's USA made with USA and globally sourced ingredients, if you will. So it's just hard to tell if this is American leather, if the laces, if the you can almost imagine these eyelets and speed hooks might be foreign, just because they don't break it down. But again, it's their proprietary outsole. They say it lasts 25% longer than your Vibram outsole. So do with that information what you will, but in the last year, mine show no indications of needing a resole anytime soon. And of course, with that Goodyear construction, you can have that whenever you want. People talk about the storm welt. What's it made out of? It's some kind of plasticky material. It's not leather. In the past year, my concern initially was that that would start cracking and deteriorating. It's given me a good year. So, you know, we'll talk about these boots some more when we get into, every year I like to do my boot collection, 21, 22, 23. So as the years go by, we might hit on some of those things. If you have any specific questions, I'd love to get to any of those, any more care stuff or build quality. As far as the style, guys, if you check back the channel, you'll know that I just got a Red Wing mock toe. Got my eye on a bunch of other mock toes. So, you know, there's a bunch of different colors to go with. Red Wing offers a whole variety of colors. And then if you get into some of these specialty boots up in the Pacific Northwest, like Frank's or something like that, you're gonna have a lot of different options for the color. This is kind of a classic work boot, man. You could be on a job site anywhere in the States and look across the room and see a set of these. Of course, the American flag, a lot of us guys appreciate that. You're gonna see that across the room and it just sticks out. So I recommend obviously maybe running with a nice service boot, even if you get a pair of Thursday Boot Company or Truman if you want to get up a little bit more. Get yourself some nice service boots to take your wife out on the town. But I think if you were to clean these up, you could look decent. So friends, I'd love to answer any questions you have down in the comments section. Again, I can't recommend these highly enough. I think it's a boot you could definitely feel confident and feel proud to own. Good build quality and construction for me. I sure didn't get a bad one. I got a really good pair, and I can't wait to see some of the places these boots take me in the future. So friends, until the next video, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give these boots some love from time to time.